This is Kenny with Just the Right Angle, coming at you live with a quick update on these special election tax increases. As you see in the title, I'm just going to mainly go through these lists of tax increases, what they are, and then I'll talk at the very end about why we're kind of stuck with them. I'll take a few breaks in between and then talk a little bit about it. Somewhat a similar issue, one reason why you're having to pay so much money for tax increases. For those who have wondered, because I've been asked this before, why we still have special election tax increases. They were supposed to have been eliminated. A lot of people thought they were. This was a thing that's often bragged about by State Representative David Ray and others. A lot of these tax increases were reduced. They used to have them on times like on Valentine's Day or a few days before Christmas to minimize voter turnout. And there was a law passed. It was the Senate version of it is SB 353. There was probably a House version as well. And it became Act 6-14102, I believe, is the act that it became, if I'm not mistaken. And people can look on that and see. Actually, I can look on here. It is now Act 405 is the official act number. It was passed overwhelmingly and signed into law. In the past, this type of bill was blocked by the Arkansas Chamber of Commerce. It was famously blocked by an incident known as the Sturch Lurch, where Republican James Sturch voted against it. But then when there was a call to confirm his vote in the Arkansas House, he got up and left. He actually lost his primary because of that. But as you can see here in this law, in Section 1, Part 2, in odd numbers years on the second Tuesday in November or first Tuesday and the first Monday in March. The first Tuesday after the first Monday in March. So in March of this year, North Little Rock was able to sneak in another millage tax increase, which passed on top of the other millage tax increase that was done a few years ago, that was scheduled on Valentine's Day. And it's all going to the school system, which already gets the large bulk of our money on a state and federal level as is. So here is the list of tax increases. This was done by Kristen Higgins of U of A Division of Agricultural Research and Extension. When I first saw this list, it was not complete. There were actually some tax increases that were missing. If you know of an election that is going on, please let me know. Let me know in the chat. And let me know in Rumble. You can also contact me at justtherighteangle@yahoo.com. You can message me on Facebook. Lots of ways to get hold of me and let me know what is going on, because most people have no idea these tax increases are going on. This, of course, is being done deliberately to minimize voter turnout so that your freedoms can be taken away bit by bit. And so I'm going to go ahead and post this here. This is this is just a list, no particular order. Calhoun County, they are being asked to approve a permanent 1% sales and use tax to be used for county road department purposes. Again, you have to look into those plans to see if there's any other plans being done for this tax increase or in previous projects for things like bike paths or green space, open space, some kind of sustainable development. Are they getting the best deal on the materials? I know in some cases there's a county where there's 6 or 7 different people that supply gravel, but for some reason the county judge decides to go to several states over to get gravel and increases the gas mileage and all that. I don't know where the source was for this tax increase, the information on it. So I'll just say that Kristen Higgins got that information herself. From the South Arkansas Sun, this is Little River County. Voters in this county have a referendum ballot regarding an order of county court, judge position, issuance of industrial development revenue bonds. And you can read this for yourself. It looks like it gives the chance to allow the county judge to issue development revenue bonds. So it gives the judge the power to decide. So I assume what has happened is the judge has issued wants to issue these revenue bonds, and people can say, okay, that's fine. A judge can increase a judge can go do this, or if you're against it, you can say no. We don't think they should have the power to do that. Generally speaking, if you have the chance to take away some power from government, you should do it. Again, vote no, and it is a form of a tax increase. Marion County, voters in this county are being asked to approve a permanent 0.5% sales tax and use tax to be used for jail and law enforcement purposes. Side note, Arkansas already has some of the highest sales tax in the nation just on a state level. And then if you're in a town in Marion County, you probably have a sales tax on top of that. And again, you have to look and see, is this the best deal for the jail and law? There's, of course, a big debate over the big giant jail project in Franklin County, which apparently a lot of people are saying no to. It is a huge issue. But again, should your taxes be increased for that, especially with that issue going on? Because if that jail deal falls through, what they'll probably do is just use money to expand existing jails where they already have an infrastructure, or build a jail in a place that's a lot better deal. Either way, you may not have to expand your jail system. Cities with special elections. Bella Vista. Voters in this city are being asked to renew a 1% sales tax that would otherwise expire once the current bond debt is taken off. And whenever you hear that a tax is going to sunset, know that you're being lied to. There is no such thing as a sunsetting tax. All of these taxes are always designed to remain permanent. They will find some other thing to spend it on. So if they try to trick you into saying, oh, this tax is going to sunset, nope. And this is another trick that they do. They'll say it's going to sunset. They'll promise it'll go out. When we pay it off, it's paid off, but then they'll find something else to spend it on. So in this case, they're having to renovate a fire station. The city administration complex is the complex. How well to do is this complex now? I mean, are they having like cable? They got brand new AC and all that. A new fire station, fire trucks, street improvements, and new police cars. But what else is in this? And what else is Bella Vista spending money on? Are they spending money on a bike path? Are they spending money on some green prep project? Don't know. This one's gotten famous. Conway. Voters in this city are being asked to approve a total of 6 questions on the ballot, which include 3 separate sales tax proposals. The sales tax would increase by 0.75%. And again, this is on top of the state sales tax. And you can see all this. I'm not going to read all this here, but you can see the kind of dollars they're trying to put into more debt. And again, it's supposedly for police and fire. And of course, they're having to do some roundabouts. Now, roundabouts may be slightly better than lights in some places, but are they absolutely needed? And in many cases, it turns out they're not actually needed. And they can't be, and you can't be working on these European-looking roundabouts when you have, the streets and other parts of the city falling apart. And again, multi-use paths. So these are bike and walk paths. They're raising your taxes on bike and walk paths, and they've already wasted thousands, if not millions of dollars on these paths instead of fixing the fire department and the police department. And so what these people do, and they shouldn't have the ability to do this, is they're tying in their pet projects like the Grand Theater and these bike paths with police and fire. So now you're on a guilt trip. You have to pay for it all. And sometimes they'll separate it. They'll say police and fire is one part, and then their pet project is another. Sometimes they'll do that, but oftentimes they don't. And even if they do, it's still a deception because you're being told to vote at all. Greenland, Arkansas. I did not know there even was a Greenland, Arkansas. I don't know where it is, but voters in this city are being asked to vote on whether to annex land into city limits. And by the way, if you get put in the city limits, you may get some city benefits, but you'll also get city taxes. And you have to remember that. you have to be aware that you are going to be stuck with that. I've posted a link to this in the chat that you can share with others. Again, if you know of another tax increase that's going on and you're like, hey, this isn't, you didn't mention this, please let me know. Ozark, up in North Arkansas, voters in this city have a referendum on their ballot. The city council members approved an ordinance this year creating an entertainment district near the square. That's a place where people can get drunk. A local ballot group circulated a petition, collecting signatures to put an ordinance on the ballot for voters to decide. If you vote for to keep the entertainment district in effect, and if you're against, you would end the inner district and void the ordinance. So, do you want to have a bunch of drunk folks in Ozark? That's pretty much that. Here's one of the big ones, Sherwood. Voters in this city are being asked to approve 3 separate bond issues that are also tied to passing a 0.75% sales tax. Again, this is one of these big, massive, multi-page plans here that you probably should have heard about before when they were working on it and didn't. Again, you get millions of dollars in debt on top of the debt you already pay. You can go to the U.S. debt clock to see how much it is. And of course, what it is, the multi-purpose event center. They already have multiple places like that in Sherwood. A sports events complex, athletic fields and facilities, playgrounds, blah, blah, blah. Regarding the athletic stuff, if there's millions of dollars, billions of dollars spent in sports, the NBA, the NCAA, NHL, hockey, in soccer, you name the sport, there's probably millions, if not billions of dollars and teams that do that. These cities really need to be forced into asking some of these big sports companies to try to pay for these things. Have them pay for it. And they should be forced to show where they contacted the NCAA and the NBA and the Olympics and all them and said, we went to these people to ask for them for a sports complex, and say what was the reason for not them paying for it. And of course, there's an animal shelter because animals are a problem. And instead of other things that can be done to take care of it, a lot of people just kind of let animals get loose, and you have a problem with that. There is an organization that is fighting against this particular tax increase. I'm going to share their information, and then I'm going to take a break while they play a little bit of their video of them. They are called Sherwood Tax Truth. This is their Facebook page. They are also on. I'm getting a text from someone else. But this organization is set up, it's backed by Americans for Prosperity. They have they have signs out. This is this full-on campaign, by the way. Many of these are oftentimes full-on campaigns. They did have a town hall meeting yesterday. I've not been able to hear the details of that. This is some details regarding some of the spending that's already gone on in Sherwood. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can. I had a message from someone else regarding some of the details of that. And I will try and. Yeah, so they had a town hall meeting. You had to submit written questions. Baldwin and Shell, the same crooked construction company that bankrolled the North Little Rock tax increase, is part of the panelist group. Brian Carney, the VP of Industrial Services. Chris East, Principal Architect, Cromwell Architectures. You need to know these names so that when you hear about them, you can know not to do business with them. Leigh Ann Barnett, EVP and Head of Public Finance, Stevens. Mayor Mary Jo Hay, Townsville. And then there's somebody else's name I can't read because it's Blake Calloway. Director, Sherwood Parks and Recreation. Captain Jamie Hartman, Support Services Commander. I don't know what a Support Services Commander is. You're supposed to submit questions in writing. This is a Q&A session, not a debate or public comment forum, which is, so it's not really, it wasn't really a forum. I don't know if some people went up to, talk about this or not, if they were denied. They should have a public forum before they even start these things, before they even put on the ballot. So anyway, there's some images from them. I'm going to play a quick video from their Facebook page. It's on their website. Oops. And here's the details I was reading earlier. Well, this is a flyer from the group, SherwoodTruth.com. So there's already been one of the problems is transparency in these tax increases. They don't tell you when they're happening. They don't tell you how many backroom deals are done beforehand. The bidding process, all of this. You don't have even basic ROI, return on investment. So here, I'll play this video while I take a quick break from this. Just a moment.
You've probably heard this several times, just like I have. The reason Sherwood needs a sports complex is because cities like Conway, Benton, and Bryant have one. It helped their economies, and we need one because it's going to help our economy here in Sherwood. And that's true. It did help their economy. But here's the difference that nobody's talking about. Those cities were already thriving and had thriving economies before those sports complexes were built. Sherwood isn't there yet. City Hall wants to build one, hoping it will create a thriving economy. That's not how that works. And that's not leadership. That's risk with your tax dollars. And here's the other part people don't talk about. The market, it's already crowded with these. I've spoken with people who manage these complexes. They tell me competition is intense. When tournament organizers scout for locations, they're asked about hotels, restaurants, entertainment, the full experience. And if they don't have those amenities already, they're not coming there. And as great as these projects sound, Sherwood just isn't ready for that yet. We're not ready for that build. And we're certainly not ready for $93 million in tax debt. It's just too much. Before we try to keep up with other cities, keep up with the Joneses, we need to get our foundation right, because strong cities don't gamble their growth. They build it. One wise decision at a time. Visit SherwoodTaxTruth.com.
Okay, so that's that. As the guy said, you can visit SherwoodTaxTruth.com regarding that tax increase. I would say go to see if they have another town hall where they allow public commenting, but I don't know, because the last one they apparently didn't. Texarkana. Voters in this city are being asked to approve 3 bond issues, which combined would raise the property tax in the city by $5 million. And you can see the millions of dollars in bonds they're supposed to make, which may include, this is important if it says may, which means they don't have to use it on what they're saying. They just say, it says they may do it. Streets, roads, bridges, viaducts. It's supposed to be for transportation stuff. But they may decide, you know what, we want to build another bike path. They can do it. And I've seen it done before. So these are the cities that are having tax increases on November 18th. They could have waited until the March primary, but they wanted to do this in a deliberate way to minimize voter turnout. Always remember that. Always remember that Arkansas is one of the most highest tax states in the nation. I've mentioned this before. We have a high income tax that other surrounding states do not have or are getting rid of. or at least greatly reducing. We have a state sales tax. A lot of your cities and counties already have sales taxes, so you have to think of that when you think of this being piled on top of it. So we have school districts, the schools, which for some reason have been made into the backbone of the community. In reality, it's supposed to be God, followed by family, followed by small businesses. But for some reason, it's been turned into the schools. It's one of those scams that we've been made to accept. So moving right along, school districts, Arkadelphia School District. Again, this is within Texarkana, so if I'm not mistaken, they're pretty close to each other. I think it's the same county. Maybe wrong on that. Someone can correct me. Voters in this school district are being asked to approve a property tax rate of 47.65 mils, an increase of 3 mils, along with a $37 million bond issue. And of course, it's for the high school campus and the arena. Again, there's another sports thing where they should be told, contact the NFL and see if they'll build up an arena in this little bitty school. And they're going to be in debt for 32 years. School district communications. So you have to go to the school website, by the way. In many cases, you have to go to these city councils, or some counties do have a website, but oftentimes you can't even find the source of where to get this information. So you don't know things like early voting. And of course, you're supposed to have to go to the county to find this. But if you're like somebody that's moving into a place, or you're a business moving into a place, you have no way of even knowing this is happening, because our Secretary of State does not have a list of this. And as it mentioned in this very article further in the top, so I'm giving you information that you're probably not going to see anywhere else unless you go to this website, or there's one other one called ArkansasVote.org that had some details on some of this. So anyway, Arkadelphia School District, Cleveland County School District. Voters in this district are being asked to approve a property tax rate of 44.1 mils, an increase of 6 mils for a new gym. Now, there's an organization that's a great news source that has details on this. This is South Arkansas Reckoning. You can visit them, and they go into some of the details along with some of the, how much the millage is in other places. There is some reports on when they tried to do input. Here's a quote. When board member Kelly Taylor asked board president Wilson if there could be citizen input, Wilson said, rather not. And you can see a live stream of that too. The board voted for the millage to be held in November instead of waiting until March, when political primary elections will also be on the ballot. The November election could cost the school district approximately $10,000. So again, they're wasting money. They usually waste several $1,000s when they're trying to sneak these elections through. So I've posted a link in the chat and Rumble to let folks know about that. You can check that out, read that on your own. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But that is the Cleveland County School District tax increase election. Nettleton Special School District. Another property tax rate, an increase of 4.8 mils, $94 million in bond. $94 million that they are going to try to force on people. I don't know what the average median household income there is, but it's a new bond debt over 31 years. Erecting and equipping new facilities, making additions, improvements to existing facilities. Is that going to be the actual places where people learn, or again, is this going to go to astroturfing the football stadium for the umpteenth time? Don't know. Fortunately, Craighead County does have an election website, so you can see it there. Pocahontas School District. Voters in this district are being asked to approve a property tax rate of 35.76 mils, an increase of 2.95 mils, $60 million. Also a debt of over 30 years. Now, I'm kind of finding it very difficult to believe Because sometimes I hear this, why you schedule this now and not wait a few months for a general or a primary election. You get told by these consultants that try to put this when you're actually able to talk about this in a meeting. Well, we got to get started early because we got to save money on getting equipment. Well, why didn't you schedule this in the March a few months before in the general election? Why didn't you schedule this a year ago in November when they had a general election? And how is it that somehow you got to get a few months is going to make a difference over a course of 31 years? Doesn't make any sense. And you have to go to the ballot title to see this because it's not on any website. Here's an example. Pocahontas School District, number 19 of Randolph County. So you have to go to the ballot title. That's what you'll see, for and against. Because, again, it's not on any website. It's not on the Secretary of State's website. And it's only briefly mentioned on here. And, of course, I'm the only one telling you about it. You're not going to see this on TV. Star City School District. Voters in this district, which serves Lincoln County and a small portion of Cleveland County, are being asked to approve a property tax of 42 mills, an increase of 5 mills. Voters are being asked to approve a $6,750,000 bond. So this is for the pre-K program. Supposedly not a pet project regarding sports. Some of it would be a design and construction of tornado shelter, bond over 32 years. There are multiple daycares in this area, so you would basically be using taxpayer funds to put them out of business. Just like when you build a sports complex, you end up with gyms being shut down because they can't compete. And this particular election, along with the Cleveland one, was not originally on this website. I had to contact them and let them know about this. And there's probably, like I said, a dozen more. Does anyone know of any other tax increases that are going on? I don't know. I do not know. But I can tell you why this is happening. Part of the reason this is happening is because a lot of your schools are not there for education. They're wasting money on stupid pet projects. And I have a prime example right here. Matter of fact, let me go put him on YouTube. This is also by South Arkansas Reckoning. And get to the part where this guy starts. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to talk about why these things are happening, a little more reason as to why these things are happening. This, again, was filmed by South Arkansas Reckoning. I need to share this tab. I believe it's Brody Chandler who's speaking.
Tonight's an historic event for Grant County. While the resolution of some of you are aiming to pass may seem minor, it will open the door that Grant County isn't equipped to handle. Many of these people here tonight are here to show you that they do not agree with what you are doing. And if you don't mind, just a show of hands, how many people do not agree with this? Thank you. Judge, you said we need this resolution for us to get more details from Clean Cloud Energy, but why haven't they talked with the paper? Is the paper here? Did they ever call you back? Because you said it was, did they ever contact you? They called you back? No, I'm saying, you said in their paper you contacted them for comment, and you left a message.
Several sources.
Okay, that was the last article that I had a chance to read. I was just curious. So, but it isn't illegal to publish a site plan or a development plan on their public website for people to review. Clean Cloud Energy is keeping citizens of our community in the dark for as long as possible. The land is already secured either by a deposit or a first right of refusal, which means they are already have done enough studies to know this is where they plan to rape our resources and make billions off of this county. Clean Cloud Energy, only needs this resolution to open the door, open a door that it will be that will only make it harder for you to say no in the future. Why is it that the first official word of this coming to Grant County, they want to discuss a tax abatement and throw out they can write a $20 million check? This seems very premature for an introduction meeting that no one knew nothing about. Each of you should understand something right now. These companies fail time and time again against communities like ours. They are here because they view us as low-hanging fruit. We have relaxed county laws, minimum legal resources to oppose any future opposition, and their only hope is that you take the bait on the money that they are offering to this county. Why is it you are wanting to have a discussion about the county's monetary gain before ever looking into having any independent studies done for environmental impacts like watershed, how they are sourcing the need for water? How about the study of the potential economic loss, not only for the land being developed there, but also the surrounding land around it? When I say independent study, what I am meaning is studies that the county pays for out of their own pocket and not even considering what the company is trying to present to them. The list of things that need to be considered is like asking an 8-year-old for Christmas what they want for Christmas. The list just keeps growing. Only this list is red flags and issues of a lifetime this community will be facing. Can any of you honestly tell me that it is fair that only after one meeting the Quorum Court should be voting to pass any resolution on something of this magnitude? They say they want to give us $20 million. Is that so we can hire more attorneys who will bill us thousands of dollars and hours of legal fees to write these contracts that are going to be needed? All we have heard is there isn't enough information about this yet. We need a resolution so we can look officially at what they are wanting to do. They say they're a data center, not a Bitcoin mining. You're right in the fact there is a lot of rumors going around. And I want you to know that what I'm sharing with you tonight comes from countless hours of research, data about data centers, blockchain, and the truth about clean cloud energy, and so much more. First being the history of clean cloud energy, and second, our water system, and third, Grant County's need for the Quorum Court to protect its citizens from corporations like this in the future. And this packet I give you each is a small portion of the research and information that I have done over the past 18 months. So, if you don't mind, we'll go page by page just real quick. I want you to understand this right here. So, the first page, very first page is if you look at the bottom, their number. This is A. So it says RENRG is the original company that was founded in October of 2021. This is a screenshot of their Twitter page. And if you go to the page 2, read the first line. So what is blockchain? A system in which a record of transactions, especially those made in cryptocurrency, is maintained across computers that are linked in a peer network. This second page right here shows RENRG partnering with BitGert. The third page behind it is a screenshot of what BitGert is. It is a crypto mining website. And again, please stay with me because I'm going to connect all these dots as we're going. So if you notice the next page, on the right page, I linked this page for context about billion and for renewables in blockchain and tokenization, as it says in that caption. The next page would be page 4, is a LinkedIn page. This is again for context. RENRG. Industrial, if you go to the bottom and look at it, it says Industrial Blockchain Services. Harnessing, the next page, harnessing blockchain for solar streams. So, I understand they're saying that it's not a data mining, or it's a data mining process. It's not crypto mining. What I feel they are wanting to do, and this is after, like I said, countless hours of research. They're wanting to put these solar panels out here so they can collect the energy from the sun. They want to form a company that sells tokens to power companies. Have y'all heard of the carbon credits? So that's what they're basically looking at, but for the sun, and selling energy to companies through our power system. So they're going to build all these out, run this token system, and sell power through our power grid. The next page just continues to talk about that project and with this company. I apologize. So this RENRG, what do they have to do with this, right? We're talking about Clean Cloud Energy. That's the company that came here to present. So I Googled RENRG, and if you look at this next page, at page B, it's a Google search. First line is Clean Cloud Energy. Next line, RENRG Partners is now Clean Cloud Industries. So why is it Clean Cloud Energy is changing their name with a blockchain company attached to them? That's pretty interesting. The second page on that, if you look at it, is basically a marketing ploy. They're going to flood Google because they know that most people are only going to look at the top 3 or 4 key links to what they're searching, and they're going to go with those. So if they put out a press release, and if you look at this press release, news provided by Clean Cloud Energy, and there's several of them through different other news networks. So we're getting there, right? The next page, page C, brought me to this. It's an SEC filing form.
So folks, you can see the more details of that. I'm going to post the link to this very important detail regarding the school. Just remember, and it'll show that here in the article, this isn't just regarding the quorum court. This is also involving the Sheridan School District, which I know for a fact has had tax increase elections in the past. So there you go. There's a link to that video. Looks like I got an advertisement from, what was it? Din set off Eve. Cheap viewers, streamboo.com. Don't know what that is. And I'll go ahead and post this link here so y'all can see it. It's the whole YouTube video. Looks like it goes on for about an hour. It's a Grant County and then Sheridan. I'm going to go ahead and like this too. I have my own YouTube channel, Keep Arkansas Legal, which you can check out and see and talk with others. So why is this happening? I always tell people why is this happening and what to do about it. So the reason why this is happening is we have a freedom-hating organization that you pay for called the Arkansas Association of Counties. They take 1% of every county. They are supposed to provide things, mainly things such as legal defense. But when these crypto mining facilities and these other pet project organizations set up shop in these small towns, and they set up their windmill farm, their solar farm, and people go, "What is this? I don't like this. I have various objections to this." They issue a letter saying it's already a done deal. So in other words, they're cowards, they're liars. And what you can do, one thing you can do is to tell your county to disassociate from the Arkansas Association of Counties. Because this is nothing but a cowardly scam organization. They have fought against freedom for years. They fought against a sanctuary bill regarding counties that would allow counties to not work with the ATF, the organization that recently murdered Brian Malinowski, and can still come into your county and say, we want to go after somebody over a sawed-off shotgun, so you can end up with another Ruby Ridge incident. They can still do that thanks to this globalist freedom-hating organization, the Arkansas Association of Counties. And they are also a reason why you have these special election tax increases. They've been fighting them for decades. And unfortunately, they infest the Republican Party. And these, by the way, these organizations have been around for decades. They're one of the reasons why Arkansas is last. They were in power when the Democrats were in charge. And what they've done is they have infested the Republican Party with consultants. Now you see this section of the Association of Counties Judges Association. And you see this organization, so you know these are the bad guys. These are the Bill Gates, the George Soroses, I forgot that German guy's name, doesn't matter. The guys that want you to eat bugs, all that crap. These are the same kind of people in our backyard. And I guarantee you, if you're looking at this in another state, you probably have some other association or league or a group that's in your area that does the same thing. Okay. This is one of the big consulting firms in the state of Arkansas. And as you can see, County Judges Association of Arkansas. Now you see these other organizations. These organizations, by the way, supported COVID mandates. These organizations right here also, I know Children's Hospital for Arkansas Children's did some of the stuff regarding the mutilation of children in the past. You want to know why your energy bills keep going up? That's because electric co-ops of Arkansas are there. I don't know what self-storage are, and some of these I don't know. This is a client for JDC Consulting. Okay, you go meet the team. Here's the founder and CEO, Chase Duggar. This, by the way, was the scam artist who tricked me and others into going up to Jonesboro to campaign for John Cooper for free because we thought he was going to be the deciding vote on Obamacare Medicaid expansion spending. And he thought he was going to be the person to vote that down, to cut the funding for it, so we could get rid of the largest expansion of government in state history. And he ended up being an absolute fraud. This was the campaign manager who did that. Okay. And the sad thing is, he is running other campaigns. And he also has a position of power within the Republican Party of Arkansas. And until these people like him are removed from power, until they are kicked out, there's still going to be a problem. And here it is, the 2025 Rules Committee of the Republican Party of Arkansas. There he is again. And yes, it's the same guy. Side note, he is not related to the Duggars of Northwest Arkansas that had all this stuff with the TV show and the Duggar family. Yes, there was a member of that family that ran for office. I think there was another one that was thinking about running for office. He was a state legislator. There's no relation. Matter of fact, it's spelled differently. It's Duggar up there. But this guy is responsible for a lot of the problems that we have within the Republican Party. And so I've posted his information there, and I'll post it in the comment section. Folks, if you're not on Rumble, get Rumble. Get Rumble so you can get updates on things like this. You're not going to hear stuff like this in almost any other place. YouTube used to be a place where you could get information, but they do what's known as shadow banning. Also, it's a way to help support this channel. You can also have links there, what to do. And I tell people what to do about this because, of course, if I go through all this and I don't tell you what to do, it's pointless. One, you can call and contact the Republican Party of Arkansas and tell them they need to remove this guy. And he's not the only one that needs to be removed, but he is one of them. He doesn't belong in any committees. He shouldn't be managing any campaigns. Tell him you're sick and tired of consultants like him running the Republican Party. I've mentioned another one, of course, Chris Caldwell. He's the same kind of animal. He's one of these association-backed consultants who has a position and the power in the Republican Party. Chris Caldwell is actually able to shut down committee meetings when he doesn't like them. During the last winter committee meeting, they had a 2-page agenda. They were supposed to have reports from several different organizations. Chris Caldwell made a motion to adjourn, and they shut it down right after the first page. So there was a whole host of people who had their time wasted, who were supposed to hear things. Just reports from other organizations, the districts, the African American Coalition, the Young Republicans. I don't know which organizations were cut off at the time, but I do know that he did shut down that meeting before they were on the second page of their agenda. And see, a lot of people will focus on things like, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Matter of fact, she just posted this an hour ago. I'm by the way, here's my Twitter page, Kenya W_NLR. And yes, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of regarding farmers. Part of the problem with farmers is the Monsanto monopoly regarding seeds. And yes, so the Schumer shutdown, and it's Schumer's fault. And I guess I can play a little bit of this. It's mainly national news. I'll go ahead and play a little bit of this and take me a little water here.
15 minutes ago, this is, you guys, I think, are the first to report it. The Wall Street Journal just wrote about it. But yes, the president directed me that these FSA offices, about 2,100 of them are around the country, the way the USDA programs work is you can't, in many of them, get your check or cash it without those FSA offices being open. Another long-term problem to fix. We're in the digital age now, but right now it was important to open those offices. So just 30 minutes ago, we announced every one of those offices will open officially this week. The checks will begin to move again. And the reason this is important, Elizabeth, is that we've got farmers who are working to make their payments to prepare their rental payments for their land, their mortgage payments on their certain combines, et cetera. They are not able to make those without these checks coming in that they were expecting. Billion? So that's why this is so important.
Yeah, well, of course, the way to really help farmers would be to cut their taxes. Get rid of organizations like the Association of Counties so they could actually go out and fix roads, fix drainage ditches, update their police and fire equipment, not spend money on stupid pet projects, and do some other stuff that actually works. So again, what you can do about this, we have a Republican primary here in Arkansas. It's going to be in March. Filing to run for office is going to be in November. If you think maybe you'd like to take a shot at being in office, unfortunately, the Republican Party of Arkansas has raised their fees up, so you have to pay quite a bit in order to do that. Its filing is November 3rd and goes to the 12th. There is kind of a schedule. It does depend on the county that you are in of when those are going to be taking place. Sadly, there are some elections that could have happened around that time that instead are going to be happening in June. There are some lawsuits regarding that. I guess I'll share a little bit of that because I did want to. I should probably mention that there's a lawsuit regarding District 70, which is North Little Rock Sherwood area, previously occupied by Carlton Wing. The law says that when there is a removal of a legislature, either by passing away, what happened with Gary Stubblefield, or they resign, or they're kicked out, whichever. There's supposed to be a election within 150 days. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is ignoring that. This lawsuit was put forth by the Democrats. There's a Republican who's interested in running for that seat. However, apparently his campaign manager didn't bother to file regarding that. And there is a whole discussion regarding that. I've talked a little bit about that in another video, but that is an election happening. But in March is supposed to be the elections. Here's, of course, the famous story. Aaron Spencer, Lonoke County, who had to kill someone who was abusing his daughter, is running for sheriff. I'll go ahead and play his video just for fun. I didn't mean to talk about him, but I'll go ahead and play it just since I have a little bit of time left. Well, there's that. Again, if you think that running for office is a bit much, you want to just get involved, and you can help those that are running for office. You can donate time and money to campaigns, but again, make sure that the people that you are donating your time and money for are conservative, that their campaign managers are conservative, that they will actually fight for you. Don't get suckered in like I did with John Cooper. And do your part to try to clean up the Republican Party, just like Charlie Kirk did years ago regarding the RNC and Ronna McDaniel. If anybody could have started a third party, it'd be him. But we realize whether you like it or not, we're kind of stuck with the Republican label. You have to clean it up. The third party is not going to get the job done, and this is on a political field. Is you gotta clean house, just like George Washington had to do regarding the American Revolution. And, everybody thinks Benedict Arnold was a bad general. I guarantee you there were a lot of other people within the American Continental Army that did as much damage, if not more so. They had to clean house. We got to clean house. We got to kick the traitorous consultant types out of our midst. And of course, this is just a political field financially. Make sure you get out of debt. Do everything you can to fight against debt. Grow your own food. Get away from the chemical processed food as best you can. Exercise a little bit. That sort of thing. And of course, none of this all matters. We're all fighting on this earth, but and eventually we're all going to pass away and every knee will bow. Jesus will return. You need to make sure that your salvation, that you're truly saved, that you're seeking his will. You need to pray, read the Bible, develop a relationship with God, be able to develop that with others. I always try to quote a verse when I can, if I remember to, regarding this type of issue. When the righteous rule, the people rejoice. When the wicked rule, the people groan. So that's about it for now. I actually have to go take care of a few other items. If you know of any events that are going on, let me know. I probably would have gone to the Sherwood City Council meeting had I known about it in time, but I didn't know about it until it was too late. And I'm not sure what happened to that. If anybody has a recording of that or any other events, would they like to post it and say, hey, this is what really happened? Just feel free to let me know. If you know of any other tax increases, like, hey, we're having a big fight here in this town and you missed us, please let me know as well. You can see my contact info at the bottom. It's in the description. Other than that, you all have a great day.